Hello and welcome to my part 2 video about postmodernism. This video specifically focuses on Baudrillard's theory of postmodernism, which if you are at A level you will need to be able to apply to both online media and your TV unit for component 2. Now, there is a part 1 video where I explain the features of postmodern media products, so please check that out if you haven't done so already. But this is specifically focusing on the theory, and this is quite a complex theory. Please don't panic if you don't understand some of the key words, because it's a theory that a lot of people don't learn about until they go to university. A lot of grown adults, including us teachers, still don't understand it. So I'm going to try and explain it, and I've brought visual aids today as well. Hopefully this will make sense. And please don't leave horrible comments if it doesn't. Okay, this is reality. Postmodernism, the theory that Baudrillard has, is all about the difference between reality, the truth, and fiction and artificial realities. The idea is I'm going to use the orange today as a kind of metaphor. Please don't write about oranges in your A-level exams, because this has nothing to do with your A-levels, but it's a good kind of symbolic way of representing this theory. So Baudrillard reckons that what you used to have in the media and all around us was reality, an actual orange. We used to see real people in the media, we used to see real locations and real stories. And he thinks that basically what's happened is that we've left that reality behind, and what we are now in is a kind of world of artificial realities. So what I've got here to demonstrate this is I've got some orange products, some of which are more real than others. So whilst we have our reality of an orange, Baudrillard reckons that what happens is society starts evolving, media products get made, and over the last few decades, what we've gone from is that reality of the orange, in my metaphor. We had heightened reality. This is my freshly squeezed pulped orange juice, M&S. I'm not promoting this brand, by the way. So we've got our freshly squeezed orange juice, and this is a heightened reality. It's almost more intense than the original orange. But it's still, inevitably, it's still linked to the real orange, because there's real orange juice in the juice, and it tastes just like the orange for the most part. This is not a simulacra. This is very much a sort of heightened version of reality, not to be confused with hyperreality, which sounds the same. So we start moving away from the reality, and we start taking our media products and adapting them slightly, but there's still links to reality in this media product. But then what we come to is our very artificial flavour orange. So this is my Fanta, and it does say it's made with real fruit, but in my metaphorical drink, it does say it's only made with 4% real fruit. So not much at all. There's hardly any link to the actual original orange in this. And actually, when my students tried the Fanta, they realised it really didn't taste like the original orange at all. So what we're left with is a product that is a simulacra of an orange. It tries to copy an orange. It's even got a picture of an orange on the label. It's slightly orange in colour, it's a bit more yellow than anything else. And it says it's orange flavour on the label. And a lot of people, particularly young people, see this as being an orange drink. But actually the taste of this is not the reality of an actual orange. And so what we have is this kind of simulacra, a copy of reality that is so artificial, it's not really linked to reality at all. And actually, Baudrillard thinks that we are surrounded by these sort of simulacra of media products, artificial copies, to the point where the artificial copies are so hard to tell apart from the reality, because they are often packaged in the same way, they look the same, they are sometimes enjoyed more than the reality. So what we have here is another simulacra. This is my Terry's chocolate orange metaphor. And the idea is, I guess, that media products now, if you think about things like your online media, like Zoella, is Zoella reality? Is she the orange? How much of her is real? And how much of her is artificial, packaged, glossy reality. It's a copy of reality. It tries to be a copy, and it tries to make out that it's real. You know, this Terry's chocolate orange has got the kind of orange peel effect on the label, and even inside you will find that it's segmented like a real orange, and it's got the little kind of design of the pips on there and everything. So it tries to look like reality, but actually it's really nothing to do with reality at all. There's no orange in a Terry's chocolate orange at all. In fact, I think there's orange oil, but it doesn't really count. I suppose the idea is to have a think about your media products and think about whether they are reality, truth, or whether they are, like Baudrillard suggests, a cleverly constructed, glossed, packaged version of something made to look like reality, but which the audience either can't tell the difference between this and reality, or actually they prefer this to reality. Do people, do you think, prefer the online media products like Zoella and Alfie? Do you think they prefer those glossy, perfect, aspirational versions where they're sitting at home, kitted out in their kind of designer clothes, going on spa days and driving amazing cars? Are they preferring this simulacra to the real world? Because that's what Baudrillard basically reckons has happened. He reckons that we now can't tell the difference, and that the not being able to tell the difference is the hyperreality. Hyperreality is a state where we cannot tell the difference between these simulacra and the reality of the orange, or the reality of the media product. So I hope that metaphor kind of makes sense. I suppose the idea is to be able to have a think about your media products. Music videos, for example, are the characters, are the star personas that you're seeing of people like Dizzy Rascal or Beyonce. Do we think that that is their real reality of Beyonce and Dizzy Rascal? Is that the reality of who they are? Or is it a cleverly crafted simulacra that bears probably very little resemblance to the real artist in real life, but the audience has now come to accept the simulacra as being real, and that's who we want to interact with online, on Twitter, and that's who we want to see in their media products. The way this can apply to component 2, if you are doing humans, for example, is that it doesn't always have to be about the media product. It could be that there are simulacra in terms of the narrative inside the media product. So in humans, you have the humans, the reality, and then you have the synths, who are the simulacra. The synths are designed to look just like the humans, but they're slightly better than the humans. You know, they're more attractive, they're slim, they're perfect, they do all the housework, they can basically do everything that humans can't. So, you know, the idea is, I guess, perhaps Humans as a TV show is making a postmodernist comment about how society has now become obsessed with the artificial, society has now become obsessed with the simulacra. And do we now live in a world where we even want to tell the difference between simulacra and reality? Or do we just prefer the artificial, glossy, fake stuff in our lives? So perhaps it's the narrative of your media products that's making a comment about simulacra, or it could be that the product itself is a simulacra. So I'm hoping that makes sense. And I suppose the idea is just to be very aware about whether things might be real or fake. And how do you even tell that now? Can we even tell? So have a look at some of your set texts, have a look at some unseen media products, and try and work out whether or not you might be able to talk about whether there are elements of reality or whether there are elements of artificialness and copies that sometimes we might not even be able to tell from the reality.